All right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, fam. What's good?
Peace.
Oh yeah, man. Leave it up to Seafood, man. He gonna get it in for us.
Only when necessary.
Oh boy.
Only when necessary.
All right, what's good, Fourth Principle family, and shalom and welcome to all the guests who might be tuning in to the show. Got a pretty good one lined up for you guys today. So how's everybody?
I'm loved, Doc. I'm loved.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Perfect.
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah, I'm great.
Cool.
Looking good, feeling good, you know?
I can dig that. So this week, we get an opportunity to explore who the fourth principle is, and with that, you get an opportunity to learn about each and every one of us from the perspective, where we stand. But before we do that, I do want to take the time to address some of the feedback that we got last week when we had the Nashim or the women. We had the women on
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
When we had the women come on the show, and they gave their perspective on a couple of items. So I don't know if we can pull up those comments real quick and just read them.
Probably had to. You want to read them now?
I mean, we
Or
can.
just
Yeah.
as we go?
Yeah, we can read them as we can read them now. That's fine.
Yeah, get them out of the way.
I might have to pull it up. Hold on.
Just go. You could also go to the group chat. I mean, if it's not too far back, because we said a lot since then. Let me go to the phone.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do.
Which one was it? Was it the last one we put up for them?
1 second.
All right.
You got it?
I got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. One of them says SHIT, about to hit the fan. What are you women going to do when martial law and FEMA roll out?
Okay, so off the rip, right? I'll say this: I don't recall anything that we discussed in an episode where we talked about martial law or FEMA. That wasn't even in the space of awareness of the conversation.
Right.
So, thank you for the comment. I am curious as to how you got to that conclusion that led you to ask that question. Seeing as though that was not the context of the discussion.
Right. You want another one?
Go
No,
ahead.
And does anybody else have anything to add to that?
Yeah. Anybody else want to add to it?
I responded to it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Mike.
I think what he was trying to convey was from his viewpoint of watching the video
Right.
that those particular women wasn't ready. And
Ready for FEMA or
whatever
whatever happens.
he thinks martial law and FEMA is going to bring.
Okay.
My question was, why ask the women?
Right.
Well, not only that, right? If martial law was going to happen, the common layperson, you wouldn't know. Okay.
Absolutely.
You don't have the appropriate clearance to know, and unless you've served in the military, you probably don't even know what that looks like.
Right.
All right. I know we got a lot of sentiments from Hollywood and movies that kind of portray an idea of what that is, but a lot of times that's handled at the state level, or maybe even the municipalities. It just kind of depends on what's going on. It's not a worldwide broadcast, if you will, that hey, martial law is gonna happen. Mm-hmm. And as far as FEMA is concerned, those tend to follow natural disasters and stuff like that. And so, just the linkage of that idea and what we were discussing on the show, that two different worlds.
Absolutely.
Right. All right. The next one was actually it was the same person who just said that. He said, if more women take on the lifestyle, she would be better. And I would take it that the lifestyle he's talking about is the Hebrew Israelite lifestyle, because that's what the title of the video was.
Well, I would say one, you have to discern what you mean by better. Better than what? I mean, making a statement it'd be better. It doesn't really say anything. It's we're comparing it to something, and seeing as a person like doubled up on their, whatever it is that they were trying to present. It seems like a commonality where people hear or listen to situations, circumstances, ideas, thoughts, and they don't have or have learned how to properly communicate. And if women or anyone for that matter is talking about their personal experiences, and then you go and shift the goalpost to a whole another perspective or awareness, evidently there's a lacking in communication, and I don't think it's on the women's part. It seems like someone may be deviating or projecting out whatever it is that they're projecting.
Right. And that statement about better is coming from the mindset of that world in which that person is in.
Yes.
Right.
Not necessarily the worldview from the the Nashim. I mean the women that were giving their perspectives.
Right.
Right. All right. The next one, and this is on the same video.
Right.
The BHI is just another black cult that started back in the late 1800s by other black Christians who sought to be superior, like how most your people emulate in this country. No different from white supremacy.
That's a good point.
If that's
What's the
to-
acronym?
to- well,
Black.
Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah.
But first of all, I deal in definitions, so we're going to define cult.
Facts. Let's get it. Please.
A system of religious veneration and devotion directed towards a particular figure or object. A relatively small group of people having religious beliefs or practices regarded by others as strange or sinister.
Right.
And then we'll go into the, hold on. One of the other definition is a misplaced or excessive admiration for a particular person or thing. So we're going to the similarities. You have words that's used as sect. I think that's used in the scriptures for the people that followed the way of Christ or Yahshua, who they call Jesus. Denomination. I think that also falls into, we hear that term a lot when we're dealing with church, the different denominations. So we could say cults, if you want to say that.
Right.
Church.
Right. Come on.
Faith.
Come on.
Faith is blanketing anyone that has a faith in whatever. Belief.
We gotta talk about that word. But
Persuasion. Affiliation. Movement. Group. Body. Faction. Or clique. The thing is that when we throw around these words, cult, it's usually from a negative perspective, but not even understanding that, you could say the military is a cult,
Facts.
or a military. You understand what I'm saying? If it's a small army or a small battalion or whatever the case may be, you could call them a cult because they do believe in what they're fighting for.
Facts.
So we have to be very careful when we throw certain words around.
So being part of an Indian tribe could be a cult.
Somebody could say that.
Right.
Somebody.
So if you got a favorite football or basketball team, you're in a cult. Because they do pack them stadiums.
Right. And one thing I would add with that is that, this choice of vocabulary has is very subject to external influence, right? So where you got a lot of people who may have primed opinions, not necessarily based on their own level of scrutiny, and their own research about the term. A lot of times it's just a conglomerate of ideas, you know what I mean, that become repetitive in expression. And, this external influence to a comment like that, I see the perspective, right? But it's nothing new,
Right.
because anything could, quote unquote, be labeled as a cult.
Right.
And a lot of times it's just anyone that's deviating from the accepted norm of how to do a thing.
Right.
So initially, those followers of the one called Yeshua or Jesus, they will consider a cult or a sect.
Right.
Essenes are considered a sect. Sufism could be considered a sect. Right. So, yeah, I mean.
Which leads into cultivation, which means to agitate. So if I agitate you or I mix you up, or if anybody deals with gardening or farming, the cultivator scratches up the earth. It mixes, it breaks down so you can build up. So going with what he was saying when it came to anything that goes against the norm, the cultivator, it agitates.
Right.
It scratches what's normally done.
Right.
Which means people usually don't like it.
Right. It's like you got an itch.
Right. So what happens is cult gets attached to the ideologies when it really it's like you're just coming with a different perspective.
Right.
You're agitating me. You're irritating.
Right.
So you're a cult. Which I think, like I said, I think is really funny when, because like he was saying, when it comes to the vocabulary, if you have one focus on what that word is, you're going to get labeled or can label something as being a cult, not realizing that it is what it is. That's what it's supposed to do.
Right.
Good point.
All right.
I can dig it.
All right. We got one more. The other one, a couple of them was like Hallelujah, Yahweh or whatever. We had a few of those. But this one here I want to touch on. Probably everybody may want to touch on. I'm not for sure. These people are comfortable with young black men killing each other, young women whoring themselves out, and all of our youth being a part of homosexuality. Black people are at the bottom and poverty in every city, and y'all are comfortable.
Okay, yeah. So, that brother said a lot. But again, there was no
context.
No context.
No,
none of that. No one. They never talked about black men killing each other on not neither one of those videos that we put up last week. Not one.
In fact, it wasn't even about men.
Hey, it was about them having experience being in the Hebrew Israelite lifestyle, and say nothing about.
I'll take the chance to say this. It's a lot of brothers that's going to be irritated by us.
I understand.
And a lot of brothers that's going to be irritated because we believe women are balanced to the men. And it's highly likely that a lot of brothers are saying, getting their women that's saying like, man, I feel the same way. And instead of addressing the points that the women made, they deviate and start projecting all of these things that has nothing to do with the conversation.
Again, Adon, these are primed responses, right? So, primarily in that particular identification, expression has a one-sided view.